told you guys that at the moment I really enjoy playing the new Diablo 4 expansion, and I got pretty far with my character, and I would say I kinda perfected the build I chose. And I just like with the Pokemon Go video, I kinda just wanted to show you my character and make like a semi build video out of this. But just to make clear, I'm not a pro or anything. I did a lot of stuff myself, but obviously I also got inspired from the leaderboards and stuff. But I did some tweaks here and there because just of my personal preferences in the playstyle. For example, some people like to go full glass cannon, which is not my favorite because I don't want to have to sweat constantly, dodge every attack just to squeeze out more damage. I like to play more tanky, so you will see a couple of options which maybe not every pro would choose, but yeah, I chose them. And now let me think. One thing real quick, I'm gonna do that because I have the game in German. Usually I play all my games in English, but Diablo is really complex with the multiplicators and all the names and stuff. It's very, very hard. So many different words for every effect, and there's fortify and what the fuck ever. So, and also another problem is with the numbers, right? So, what is billion in English? In German is Milliarde. So it's like it's in German it's million, Milliarde, and then billion. But I wanna was I'm gonna make the question for Google in German. Was ist eine Billion auf Englisch? So what's a billion? What is called in German billion in English? It's wait, what? He turned it around, idiot. Oh my god, man, Google is so stupid. He just switched the languages. Billion. Okay, so yeah, that's crazy. So 1 billion in German is 1 trillion in English. So if when I show you the damage numbers later, if you see a B, that means billion in German. So it's actually trillion. So we go so high with the damage that we actually land in the trillion numbers. So this build is really good. I think the best thing is we start with the abilities probably. First of all, check the name. Come in Abisu. I told you guys I really loved Undertone, the movie, and I feel like that was such a fitting name for a satanic warlock type. Also check out how trippy my character looks with the helmet with the eye on top. I really like the look. I wanted to make him like red, demon warlock type. So yeah, let's go to the abilities first. So I do not use any basic abilities with this build. It's just not necessary. My items give me enough wrath generation, so I don't need any basic attacks. So I skip these, and maybe for console players this doesn't matter anyway, but for PC players you maybe noticed that here isn't the left click button, but instead I have A here, and the reason for that is if you do left click you interact with chests or doors and stuff like that, but if you miss and you got, like, for example, if I would have this spell on left click, there would be so many situations where I accidentally waste the spell because I misclicked a chest. So I usually unbind the mouse click, so it's not an ability anymore, and the only thing I'm doing with left click is interactions, and the fifth ability here I use with A, so just as an explanation. So anyway, the whole build focuses around Apocalypse spell. That's the ultimate, which is basically just like a nuke that just nukes the entire screen for billions and trillions of damage. And yeah, so maybe I should start with the ultimate also then, because yeah, I explained already how the spell works. The nodes are, if enemies survive Apocalypse, they gain 100% more damage for 2 seconds, and if the enemies are hexed, it's 200% longer, so 4 seconds. Then we get this, the last, like, let's say, do it very easy. The last hit of Apocalypse, there's a 20% chance for it to hit again, which is just massive, because having your ult being used twice is such a game changer. And this one is the most important node. So usually this ulti has a cooldown. You can't always use it, but with this node you change the ultimate, and instead you like your Hellfire abilities generate stacks. That's the number you see here at the bottom right now, 22. And once I have 20 or more, I can use the ultimate, so I can pretty much spam it if I can constantly generate stacks. And yeah, that's the entire idea basically behind the build. Spam as much Apocalypse as possible and try to generate as many stacks as possible. For that, we got Hellfire spells. One of them is they are called Shadow Chains. And can I even use spells here? No, I can't. Wait, which city has? There is a training grounds, I think. But I'm not sure which city has those. Gotta watch 1 second. Training ground Diablo 4. Okay, 1 second. Located northeast of the main square, right next to the world tier statue. So that's the world tier statue. Right next to it. Wait, what? So this. It looks like that, but I can't train here. Or do they confuse left and right? Wait, what? Right next to the world. Right next to the world tier statue. Which is this? It has to be this. But how can I start it? It says how to use. Oh, it's a dungeon, so probably. Oh, yeah, okay, now I get it. So, yeah, it makes sense because you can't use spells in the main city. Okay, now perfect. So, that's the dungeon. So, now I can show you. So I told you about the chains. The chains, they do a lot of damage, but primarily I just use this to generate stacks. So right now we have 22. Now check this, I use the spell right, and now see how this number is climbing. 40, 50, bam, bam, bam. And not only do the stacks make the ability being able to cast, it also works that by the way, I can cast multiple of them and farm the stacks even quicker. That was the ultimate. And see how quick they, like if I have multiple of them, it's so quick. And that's why this build even makes sense, because you really have to use it constantly, basically. So yeah, and when you have it on max stacks, it does maximum damage, and also right now it says 50 million, but believe me, that's not even close to how much it's gonna be. But yeah, those whips are mainly for, I'm not gonna go into very deep, yeah, because there's so much stuff. I just want to show you like the basics, and if you want a more in-depth guide, I can do it, but primarily I just want to show you. So yeah, that's one of the stack farm builds, spells, which is the chains. But I also chose a second core spell, which is bombardment. It is the same purpose. It's also to farm stacks, but there's one or two differences. First of all, I will use bombardment once. See, it's very like more, no, it's more single target. Look how what an AOE range this has, and the bombardment is more closer to you, but you can also stack this on up to 5 and see how much. So this is just better for single target. Like let's say you fight a boss and you want to generate stacks fast, then bombardment is just way better. By the way, the dummy is actually a perfect example for that. But of course I combine both. Like I don't only use that, but just for that extra generation. Like look, I'm just gonna show you. I will make a maximum amount of chains. Now boom, and now look how this number is climbing. I'm at 100 again. Okay, the chains disappeared. You get the grip after playing, but yeah, so you saw what just happened, right? Okay, so that's bombardment. It's just another stack generator, but not only that, it's also, let me check if there are any nodes that are very important maybe to explain. No, that's just what makes this stackable. Yeah, that this increases single target damage, and this just makes one additional demon. But what makes this so good is my Paragon board. I mean, I won't go super into details here, but I know there's one legendary node. Oh my god. Guys, I don't know where it is right now, but basically there's a legendary node, or maybe it's just a rare one, but it basically gives me plus, I think, 20 damage per summoned demon, and oh no, I switched it to pyrosis, right? I forgot about that. Ah, damn, I have to change that. Fuck. I think I made a mistake here. I didn't change it yet, but I wanted to change it. Then bombardment doesn't even make that much sense. I just realized that I'm pretty much, I mean, it still makes sense obviously, but I think I'm missing out on whatever. Again, I don't want to go too much in depth. Maybe it is I can't check the other Paragon boards, right? Fuck, I could only do it. Okay, whatever. So there is a legendary node basically that gives you plus damage per summon, and each of these stacks counts as a summon. But I instead right now have apparently this one, which makes that my Hellfire abilities HP or above. So since this build is pretty much about just one-shotting the entire screen, this is a very good spell because 450 damage is just insane. But let's say for bosses, right? If I don't one-shot them early, the build loses damage, which you would gain. Like, it's better for bosses if you take the one with the plus damage per summon. But whatever, again, I'm not gonna go into too deep. If you wanna keep it really simple, these two are just to build up stacks for the ultimate. Okay, so back to the abilities. Now, this is pretty much all the offensive stuff we need. Main damage spell is Apocalypse. The other two do damage, but are basically just for gaining stacks. And once you reach the higher tiers, because I see a lot of people, they put like just purely damage spells into their like bars, which I personally would say is stupid, because you need mobility and defense too, especially if you go into the higher tiers. And as you can see, I'm in Torment 12, which is the highest one. So let me get back to, so here in the defensive tree I got 2 points. I got once Dark Prison, which makes like a little AoE around you. Let me cast it once so you, oh my god, I swear to god, the controls in this game very confusing sometimes. So let me cast it once. Q, boom. Now see, now I created this field around me, and what that does is it binds all enemies in that area, and it also weakens all enemies in this area. And all the for all enemies I'm hitting inside the area, I get 1% of my max life as Fortify. That's this, you know, usually you only have a red ball, but see, I have like a border around, and that's Fortify, which is basically like, just imagine it's like a shield. Okay, so I have my 83k max life, and I have right now a 70k shield on top. So you could say I have about 150,000 HP right now, actually. So Fortify will play a role later, and it's also one of the biggest reasons why I like taking a lot of max HP, because again, I like playing more defensive, and max HP just makes so much sense with the Fortify, because a lot of stuff is based on a percentage of your HP. So the more I have, the more I get, you know. Let's say I would have only 10k life, then the percentage is way smaller. And also stuff like, for example, like I told you about the Fortify. So I get 1% of my max life, which is 831, because I have 83,100 life. But if I would have only 10,000 life, then this would just fortify me for 100. So I pretty much increased it by 800%. So yeah, max life, very important for that build, this build in my opinion. And I also modified it so it also becomes a Hellfire ability. Yeah, exactly. So that's this prison. You pretty much want to keep it up permanently. It's only a 12-second cooldown, and some people do like a rune word to spam it even more often, but I prefer another rune word, but I will talk about that later. So yeah, then we get the Nether that's basically like just a get out of jail card, if you want to explain it like that. So you just you go into like a shadow version of yourself, and while you're in the shadow version, you are like invulnerable pretty much, and for 3 seconds. And yeah, after you exit the spell or the shadow form, you get a massive movement speed boost. And I just can't tell you already, if you wanna play Diablo, the higher torments, each class needs a spell like this, some kind of mobility. It's also, if you get stunned, I can just press it and like remove the crowd control. So this is just literally get out of jail free. If you get stunned, if you get low HP, boom, you just use it. Oh wait, look like this. It looks. See, now I'm just like in the ground almost, and see how fast I am now. And yeah, I chose one of the nodes I chose, just it gives me a second stack, which personally I think is necessary. One isn't really enough. So yeah, but this spell very simple. It's literally just a get out of jail free card. Now I'm not gonna go too much into detail, but these spells are all seal spells. Seals are little AoE thingies on the ground, like little AoE fields, and when you are inside that field, a certain effect happens. And yeah, it's 3 different ones. What does this? So I put 1 point in each, but you might see that I haven't equipped it here. Why? Why do you choose something if you haven't equipped it? I'm gonna tell you that later. Just remember this. I took every seal. This one I actually maxed out because it's the best one. Maybe I can explain that. So it gives me like another stat which is called, oh my god, what is this in English? Unberechenbarkeit. Oh my god. Like unstoppable or something. It should be something like that. Yeah. Honestly, I will keep it very simple and just tell you I put 1 point in each of these, and I max out this because it's just very good. This just makes enemies explode if they die inside the circle and do like 2 million damage. And I think, yeah, I think one of these makes the aura just follow me or something like that. Whatever. It's just important is we pick every seal once, and I will tell you why later. And yeah, I told you about Apocalypse, and now there's this one, which is a bit weird because you don't skill this spell anywhere, you just have it. And I think it is from this, right? So yeah, the Warlock has one special like tree, let's call it like that, which is called Soul Fragments, and you can choose between 4 of them. Since we go a lot of my build revolves a lot around overpower, so we need something that generates overpower. What does overpower? It increases your damage per stack, and right now you can see this, the text. It says I get 98% more damage per stack, and with this Warlock, which you get from this, that's the spell, you instantly get wait, yeah, exactly, it instantly increases your maximum overpower by 8. No, wait, that's the passive. Yeah, sorry. It increases maximum overpower by 8, so I have 12, I think. And the active is for 6 seconds. You basically like overload your overpower completely, and it just escalates the damage. So the rotation is usually like this. If you wanna, if you I have trouble with defense, usually I start with this, build my defense up, then I do the farm stacking, which now I don't have to. Then usually, but since I didn't pick the node, I don't really have to stack this up. But if you pick the legendary node, you should stack this up too. But I don't have this, so that's basically how I would start this. And now I would press A over, like, get my overload out, and then just nuke the entire thing. Now I will show you the difference. I will use Apocalypse now with 100 stacks, but no Warlock. So we got, oh my god, there's so many numbers because of the wolves. I didn't quite see the damage number of my Apocalypse, but look, even the chains already did 100 million damage. So let's do another. Oh my god, I literally can't tell the numbers because of all these motherfuckers. Fuck. See, there's so much stuff. Yeah, so like 78 billion. I could swear I just read because MRD is Milliarde in Deutsch, in German, and a billion in English. So yeah, and now I will farm my stacks back up. Now we wait until these chains are gone, and now I will press A and then do the Apocalypse, and let's see how much damage it will deal now. 345 billion, and that's not even, because I think I didn't crit. I only have right now I have a 86% crit chance, so if you get unlucky, you just don't crit. And there's also a different other factors which just count in, but because look at the moment, and it's increasing. See, wait, it is increasing. Also, wait, maybe I do have the node. Look, I'll be honest with you, I don't have all my nodes right perfectly in my head right now. What actually, but I think I must have picked it, but because look, now I'm at 5 and it doesn't go up anymore. So, but you saw, like, let's go away. It's, see how it decreases. And now if I engage the fight with the bombardment, see how it goes up, boom, 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 boom. So yeah, and now let's wait a second until everything is gone again. But technically, that's why the number wasn't that high. Yeah, we just, maybe I'm able to filter out, or technically I could watch my video on it pretty much. Okay, so we are at, wait, what just happened? It decreased massively. Okay, wait, what? Yeah, then it's is, crits make a difference. If I'm generating overpower stacks, make a difference. Technically, I have to do the perfect rotation every time, but I don't want to sweat too much in this video. So let's just do one more. And now A and R. Oh, did you see? 2.628 milliarde, but this is 2.6 trillion in English. 2.6 trillion. Yeah, and that's not even close to how much it could be, but yeah, now you get a 1.4 trillion. 8.9 trillion. And that's not even with overpower. And again, you are also crit dependent. So if you're unlucky with the crits, you're just fucked. But that's why I try to boost my crit chance up. Okay, now overpower, boom, 2.4 trillion. But yeah, anyway, let's not sweat too much with this. So that's why I got this guy, just for the overpower, because you saw how much it increases the damage. And this does so wait, let me read this again, 1 second. So this makes that all my Hellfire abilities are being casted are stronger. Let's make it that simple. They are stronger. And okay, yeah. Oh my god, this is so complicated to explain, like to translate from German to English. I'm too lazy to translate this, but it just basically buffs this guy even more. And again, also scales with max HP. If you're curious, just read it yourself in English. So yeah, that's pretty much all with my abilities. And with the soul fragments, Paragon, very very short. I picked as glyphs, I picked this, which just increases the damage to vulnerable targets. This one increases my damage while I'm from the effect this gives me. I don't know how Unberechenbarkeit, what this is in English, I'm sorry. But it basically just empowers my spells. So this so spells that are empowered by this Unberechenbarkeit in German is just empowered even more, pretty much. This is literally the same again, the same as this, pretty much. This just increases the damage of all magic nodes, which are these. So I put this here at the beginning, because at the beginning there are a lot of magic nodes close to each other. So see, I picked this and all these. Wait, what? Oh wait, I put the Hellfire in here. What was I doing? I don't know if something... Did I fuck something up? I gotta check this. So apparently I put it in here. I mean, I guess probably yeah, of course, obviously, yeah. So this increases the effectiveness of these blue ones. See, this is +5, which usually would be, I think, +1. And also this +50. This would be 7 strength, but instead it's 35. So 5 times, basically. This does boost every node by 5. And since my shit works with overpower, I get 15% overpower just from this. And yeah, that's the nodes. This so again, more damage while overpowered. Now, real quick into the equipment. So no, first of all, this season has a new theme, which is set charms, and I'm gonna explain this really quick. I picked this set because this set increases the effectiveness of all the seals massively, massively, massively. This shit makes seals ultra overpowered, and that's why I put a point in everyone earlier. But you might still ask, yo, how are you going to cast them if you don't have them here? First of all, the 5 set piece does that. If I skill one seal, all the seals are being casted. Okay, sounds good, but still, I don't have a single one casted. So how am I using this? Very easy. There's one item. This. So this turns my ultimate apocalypse into a seal spell. So it counts as a seal, which means every time I'm using apocalypse, all 3 of these seals are also being casted for free without even doing anything. So I basically permanently have all these 3 seals up just by using apocalypse, which is just amazing because I literally get 3 free spells and I don't even have to use them actively, which is just absolutely crazy. And that is one of the strongest interactions of the entire build. Like this is just insane. And this also makes that apocalypse does almost 400% more damage if it's being casted in Seal of Chaos, which is this one. That's why I maxed it out, because it just also interacts very well with this and with my ultimate. For helmet I got, I think this is called Year of Doom or something. Here I wanted to get crit chance because we want ideally 100% crit chance, so we can always crit. As you can see, I got unlucky with the greater affixes. They went to move speed and maximum core abilities, so I did the greater affix on crit chance still, so at least I have 21. But if that would have been a greater affix, I think I might have had 30. Then I get like 9% more than I currently have, which would increase it to 95, which is pretty much 100%, right? So if I get a here with crit chance GA, we can boost this even more. But I got a nice cube transfigure on this one, plus 7.5% max HP, and if you guys paid attention, max HP plays a big role, so that's definitely a decent transfigure. I'm not gonna explain anything about transfigure. If you want me to make you or tell you a small guide on how to use the cube, we can do a separate video easily, no problem. But I just want to show you my build today. So yeah, and as rune word, I picked Seer Que, which pretty much, if I cast 5 abilities, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. See, now I got these stones around me. This is actually a druid spell, so if you play druid, you can use this actively. But I get it from the rune words, and it's just another defense spell. Again, I mentioned earlier, some people like to replace the earthen bulwark, or how the fuck, bulwark, or whatever it's called. They replace it with this, so you pretty much really have it permanently active, and it also makes sense because I put a lot of points in this, so having this active permanently is insane. But again, you almost have it permanently up anyway, so it doesn't really matter. And the druid spell gives you another, like, other benefits, and I feel like the trade-off is just worth it to go for the druid spell instead of this. Then in my chest armor, the unique chest armor, what this does is seal spells do 90% more damage, so again, even more damage into Apocalypse. And what does active seals? Oh my god, that's part of the text I couldn't translate earlier. Again, I don't want to go too much into detail. There are so many interactions. One thing interacts with another, but it's basically something from these seals, so it just interacts with this, and just increases the benefit even more. And here, this rune word Igni Se, it makes that once I cast an ability that isn't a basic ability, so let's say right click, bam, see, I summoned 5 wolves. This is again a druid thing. I think this is again a druid spell, and these are good because they apply vulnerable on enemies. And I showed you earlier that I got a lot of stuff that increases the damage to vulnerable enemies, so that's one of the main reasons I picked those. And I think they can also slow and weaken them, which again gives me bonuses. Okay, stats wise, ideally on armor you just want defensive stuff if you play like me. So I got the usual max life armor, max life temper. Unluckily I got only fire resistance. You want ideally resistance to all elements. And I also got willpower, and the transfigure was like decent, +5. Item quality, it's okay. And the temper, of course, also max HP. Then this one, this is a pretty good actually. So I don't have max life, unfortunately. When I got these gloves, I still wasn't as experienced, and believe it or not, since then I haven't gotten one pair of better gloves, because this is actually not even that good. So we don't really want the armor. I rather have max HP, crit multiplier, which is the one I have 54% of. Ideally should be a greater FX, and but it's still decent. We got 80% more like multiplier for fire damage, which is good because all my spells do fire damage. And I tempered the damage per overpower stack, so this is what contributes to this. See, it says 98% overpower, so all this percentage comes from items and stuff. And yeah, this gives me 50%. The nodes, the paragon I showed you earlier, so that's why I'm at 98. So yeah, that's my gloves. Then legs or trousers. You also usually want them to be as tanky as possible if you play like me. And this is also the first legendary one I just noticed. So this is the first legendary aspect. All these are not fixed. And this legendary aspect makes that I get 40% damage reduction if I wield a two-handed weapon, which I'm doing. You could maybe change this to maybe more overpower stuff or more vulnerable damage stuff like that, but I just like the tankiness. But if you really want to go full glass cannon, you can pick something more offensive as pants and play with one-hander and offhand, and you would probably deal a lot more, not a lot, but decently more damage. But yeah, I just prefer the damage reduction. I feel like it's just so much better, and also effects. A lot of effects are double the power on two-hander weapons, so that also always plays a role. So yeah, that's why I decided for that. These pants are actually insane. So we got the Max Life GA. I got the, that's again unexperienced. I got these for a while. I should have put the GA on Max Life, but I put it on armor. But yeah, we got Max Life for 5k armor, resistance to all elements. Again, Max Life Transfigure and Max Life Temper. And 2 gems with 90 willpower, which is our main stat, and increases our ability damage pretty much. So in armor, you always want to go willpower. Then we got boots, and right now I'm a bit torn between these boots and the ones I'm wearing. I decided like this, that the boots I'm wearing right now are probably better for if I want to do more damage, and the second ones are better if I want to be more tanky and faster, because these have way much more move speed and more resistance to all elements. This is good for speed farming, you know, just running through, and this is just overall better because I get +3 on all occult spells, which is crazy because all my spells are occult, even this. And I got the 20% barrier generation, which again helps with the fortify. So just amazing. Yeah, you could put temper move speed, which I did with these, but again, for raw combat, if you just want to be maximum strong, obviously you don't temper move speed on them, and that's why I tempered barrier generation. And the legendary aspect, this is one of the most important ones. When I activate an ability, so no matter if it's this or this, I'm being healed by 3% of my... See, by the way, I just got a barrier, which gets increased from this. So I'm being healed by 3% of my max HP, and why the reason why this is important is because we chose this, which consumes 4% of our max HP when we use spells, but therefore they are, so we trade our max HP in for empowering our spells, and with this we just heal it back up pretty much. So you just constantly have this back and forth of losing HP and healing it back up with this. So if you want to do this build, this is mandatory, 100%. You need this. Some people like to put it on the amulet. Oh, is this necklace, sorry. Because on necklaces it's even stronger, but I feel like this is enough for me. 3% with the barrier generation and stuff, I feel like I don't need, so I'd rather have something else. Now the weapon, and this is kind of my prized possession. The only problem is I literally have like 4 weapons and I can't decide which is the best one, but I feel like it's this one because I got 2 transfigure on it and it's 22.3% max HP. I got the max item quality +30. I got almost 100% crit damage. And yeah, it's just so insane. And see, all these, like each of these is good in a different way. This, for example, has much more max life resource cost. Honestly, this one is actually pretty bad. That's definitely the worst one. I think that's why I put it here. By the way, check my mythics, and that's not even close to how much I initially had, but of course I'm salvaging them and building new ones. So I have these two weapons. Also, like this one, pretty much with this one I have way more max life, and my other spells except the ultimate do way more damage because I have plus 20% fire damage, but I just feel like the crit is way too good to lose, and also the max HP. And this one okay, maybe you're gonna hate me now, but this one is, first of all, it's very good, but I also kept it because of the numbers. Look, it's 420 willpower and 88 crit damage, which is just like a stupid German meme, let's call it like this. So I just found it funny, the numbers, and it's also pretty good. But yeah, this is just too insane, man. Two transfigures, and both are very, very good. And we put 2 rubies inside, which just boost fire damage by 24%. And I also put in the legendary aspect if I get 4 or more overpower. So see, again, more interaction with overpower. My fire damage spells are boosted by another 200%. So see how all this is stacking. This gives plus 100, this plus 400, this plus 200. So we're already plus 600% ultimate damage. So maybe now you start to understand more and more where this build is going. Okay, so yeah, only 3 items. Oh yeah, and maybe like stats wise I don't really have to explain a lot here. You want weapon damage, willpower, crit multiplier is the best you can have. That's what we want, because we ideally want a crit, especially with the since I chose this one, you definitely want your first one to be a crit, because 450% more damage crit. And that's why I told you earlier, this is basically about one-shotting stuff. Yeah, so that's why we want crit, and that's why crit multiplier is just crazy, because multiplier literally means multiplier. And that's why I got this game in German, because all these terminologies, it's just too complicated in English, even though I would consider myself a pretty decent English speaker, right? But even I have my limits, you know. Yeah, anyway, so now let's go to the right side. We got the necklace. This is again a unique, and this does that my occult abilities, so again every ability do again 30% more damage, more boost, and also the effects I get from this are boosted by 100%, which means I'm not getting 4 overpower, I'm getting 8 overpower instead, and it fortifies me for 32% of my max HP. And again, you see, there's another max HP interaction. So yeah, that's the reason why I picked this one. And in with Lord of Hatred, for necklaces you get a special extra in the cube. You can put a legendary aspect on a unique item, and I put this, which is I have a chance of 130%, 14% to generate 1. I think that means ferocity in English. If I crowd control an enemy, which I have a couple of crowd control stuff, you saw that earlier. And ferocity again just boosts my damage from nodes and paragon stuff and shit. So again, just a damage boost. 30%, 14%. I always generate it, so that's a guaranteed one. And in the jewelry, you always want diamonds because it gives you plus defense to all, resistance to all elements. So yeah, unfortunately my uniques aren't very good. I mean they are decent, but very unlucky with the greater affixes, and stuff like that. See, it has only lightning resistance, greater affix. Blitz means lightning, which is shitty. Ideally, this should be maybe even crit damage, or I don't even know if it can be crit damage, but it could be resistance to all elements. But yeah, you gotta pick what you get, and yeah, again, I got crit chance here. You should pick crit chance when you have the chance, and here again, I might have made a mistake going for the max HP, since this wasn't a greater affix anyway, because usually you should empower the greater affixes, but since my greater affix here was resistance to lightning, it wouldn't have made sense. So I could have gone into crit chance or max life, and I chose max life, but I think crit chance would have been better. But whatever. So now the ring. This is again a legendary item, and in this build, again, if you maybe want to squeeze out more damage, or you could replace this mythic with another legendary ring, but I just like this mythic way too much, because look, 24% crit chance is just too crazy to not pick. But anyway, this ring is insane. So this ring is really insane, but I got this also pretty early. You always see, you know where how you can identify if I got an item early. If the legendary aspect isn't maxed out, see, it says 60 down at the aspect. It says 63 out of 65. Usually I temper the max aspect, but when I made this item, I didn't even get the max aspect yet, and yeah, so I had this for a while, and if I had gotten this earlier, I would have tempered the crit multiplier 100%, but I didn't. Unlucky. Still insane ring, crit chance, max life, crit multiplier, plus 10 item quality, transfigure, plus 16 damage per overpower stack, and the legendary aspect is while I'm fortified, so that's why it's important to always be fortified. While I am fortified, I do 63% more damage. So yeah, and by the way, one side note, you might have noticed that none of my items have one certain stat, and it's the stat that is like the most wanted one this season, which is gem strength. You can get plus gem strength from the cube, which just makes everything so insane. Like, let's say you get plus 100% gem strength, then this one would give me 1000 resistance per. But obviously, if you're unlucky as me, you never get gem strength, and I literally got it twice, but on an item that was overall way worse, so it didn't really make sense. But yeah, maybe I will get gem strength once. Maybe if you guys, I just want to upload this video. I want to see how you like it, and if you like it, we can also do a let's roll some items together video and stuff like that. Just tell me in the comments and we can do. This video is way too long already, but whatever. So I can show you how the cube works too, and we have a bit of fun with the cube. Yeah, and last but not least is Ring of Starland Skies, mythic. So the attack speed is not ideal, it's not necessarily, I mean it's good because it boosts this right? So it definitely has, it is worth it in a way, but if I could choose, obviously I'd rather have crit damage or stuff like that, and that's why I said that another ring, which isn't this one, could also be good, but I primarily just love it for the crit chance, and the mythic unique effect is also crazy. Because yeah, you get a damage boost if you spend your primary resource, which we are, by using this or this. Yeah, so crit chance GA, lucky hit chance, another pretty much wasted stat. I got a couple, I think I might have gotten something here with lucky hit chance. I don't even have. There are things that can trigger with lucky hit. I don't know, maybe it's something in the Paragon board or something. But lucky hit chance, we don't really want it. So that's why I said this ring has weaknesses, but also big strength. But you could easily put in another legendary ring with maybe, I don't know what aspect could be good. Do we have occultist here? Like, let's check what. I mean, this increases fortified generation. This gives us even more overpower stacks, so it increases the maximum even more. 60% more damage when I'm 45, when I have a barrier. I think this is something you could potentially also use. This is not good. This is also not so good. We got this. We got this too. That's not useful. That's also not useful. This also not that good, honestly. This could be just also 45 boost, so whatever. So as you can see, there are a couple of legendary effects that would also make sense. But again, guys, this is almost 25% crit chance just from that ring alone, and as you can see, I got super unlucky. I didn't want to risk the ring, so I did a safe roll, and of course I get +1 item quality. Fuck you, Blizzard. But yeah, with the mythics, I got so unlucky. Oh yeah, by the way, see, this one, I got gem strength, but to me, like, the ring would have been only better if I get gem strength and can transfigure it later. That's something I will explain if I do a cube video. We're not gonna go in depth into this, but this is like so classic. I only get lucky if it still fucks me up in a way, so yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, I think, for today with the build. I don't think I forgot a lot. These set things have also two stats, so I got +4 Hellfire abilities, again +4 Hellfire abilities, +10 max life, +3 Hellfire abilities, +125 all, like, that's like willpower, intelligence and stuff. These two can be better. I'd rather have another +4, and this obviously also +4. And the second ones also aren't the best. +11% gold is good, but not for combat. Ideally would be also max life. Again, these can also be re-rolled in the queue, but I would also make an extra video for that. And I forgot this one. This is like a legendary charm, and I have two options here. I got this one, which is like my defensive option. This does, if I would lose, like if I get damaged by a damage spell or a auto attack that does over 30% or more of my maximum HP as damage. Instead, this damage is being split up over 4 seconds. So let's say, very simple, an enemy does 100 damage and that is more than 30%. Then instead I wouldn't get 100 damage, I would get 25 after a second, 25 after a second, 25, and so on. And not only does this charm do that, but it also decreases the damage. So if you want to simplify this, this is just like a one-shot, something that prevents you from getting one shot from bosses like Mephisto and stuff. I usually just put this in if I do Mephisto runs or boss runs, especially if I go solo. This is like a survival spell. But if I want to go for full power, and by the way, that's why the damage numbers weren't as crazy as I expected them to be. We get this charm, and this charm gives us plus 15 ranks in our ultimate spell. So see, now we have 44. And now let's check the difference. Okay, I put this one in again. It says 168 million. No, billion. No, million, sorry. 168 million. Now I put this on. Now we have 245 million, almost 100 million plus just from this. And it also, by the way, and this isn't even full, like this stat wise is pretty bad. It could be at 5% and 100% damage. But yeah, massive ultimate damage boost. And yeah, that's pretty much. We can maybe do one more rotation of this. I think I saw a 12 trillion there. They overlap, that's so dumb. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, it says negative 2 billion. 91 trillion damage. So you see how insane this is. Like, I'm literally one-shotting bosses. Not all bosses, because a lot of bosses have like 3 stages. You take 1/3 of their HP, then you have to take another third, and then another third. You can't fully one-shot them. But some bosses you can. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the most part. I think I didn't forget anything so far. Oh yeah, these mercenaries, just this Harrier guy, just for damage. Again, this guy does a lot of damage reduction. And I picked this guy because of this, which slows and weakens enemies, and I got a couple of more damage to slowed and crowd controlled enemies, so that's very important for that. And yeah, war plans I'm gonna show you at another time. Again, I'm gonna post this video. I'm gonna see how you guys like it, and if you do like it, we can do more Diablo stuff, and I hope you will enjoy it. Yeah, so guys, if you watched until now, thanks so much for watching. I hope you like this guide. Maybe you wanna build it too. Tell me if you want. Maybe you are an ultra pro watching this, and maybe you saw something I did wrong or something I missed. Then please tell me in the comments, right? I'm always up for some help. And again, I'm not a pro. This is my playstyle. I bet a lot of pros would pick a lot less max life, but I just like to be tanky. That's why I also carry this around. And yeah, so thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye.